Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox Chair, on this pre-match show, Rangers versus Sturm Graz. It's the one and only GB. Evening, GB.
Good evening, Oxchair. I hope one as well, mate. And I'm looking forward to being on the show tonight, mate, for this pre-match show.
Yes. Are you good, mate? Are you good?
Aye, all good, mate. Aye, that wee intro always gives you a wee G up before you join the show, mate. So aye, no, like as much as Rangers is a bit of a roller coaster now, mate. Do you know something? As much as a wee bit of negativity around the manager, you're always kind of keen to say what's going to happen next, aren't you? It's like the nights
like kills you, GB. It's a hope that kills you.
It is, isn't it? You're like, could the Livingston game be the kickstart at all, or is the night going to again show us what we've been seeing all season? It's you're always on the edge of your seat.
This is no Livingston we're playing tonight, mate. Eh?
No, mate, no.
I'm not saying they're Real Madrid nearer, but they're no Livingston, yeah.
No, mate, and to be fair, Sturm Graz have kind of had an up and down start of the season like us, mate. They've they got popped out of the Champions League qualifiers with Glint and with a heavy defeat, mate. I mean, that would have been embarrassing for them. And then as the kind of times went on, they've had that kind of like good results, like say against RB Salzburg, sorry. And then kind of after the results, like they've lost like 2-0, they've won 2-1. I mean, they're kind of been an up and down team. And for what I've been looking at as well, mate, the tactics are quite varied. People would say they're a 4-3-3 team, but yeah, the past couple of weeks, I was looking back at it, and they're like 4-2-3-1, 4-1-2-1, and you're like, they're a bit like us that way, isn't it? They don't know what their tactics are.
Have you swallowed Port Bear's dictionary?
No, but he did give me a pre-warning since he was on last week, mate. He says, mind, if you're on next week, you need to hold the fort. So I was like, right, I better get my dictionary out.
I'm just going to put it out there. Great work, Port Bear.
Big pat in the back. Yeah, he's on his travels now as well, my man. So I hope you're enjoying your meal tonight, Port, wherever you are.
Oh, I know, mate. I know. By the way, I would like to feed him, would you?
Oh, he's a hungry boy when he goes to that gym. I tell you, it's Mr. Protein head.
I'd rather keep him for a week than a fortnight. You know what I mean?
Aye, you wouldn't want to clean out the cage, mate.
Right, I believe you get a team for this, mate, and there's a few talking points, yeah?
Yeah, so our team, our starting 11 for tonight is Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Cornelis, Migoma, Raskin, Barn, Asgard, Antman, Gassama, and Chermiti. The subs for us is Kelly, Wright, Aarons, Rothwell, Cameron, Giga, Majowski, Moore, Danilo, Rice, Curtis, and McKillen. I think that's how you pronounce that last one.
McCallion.
McCallion. Right, that's better. Yeah.
Right, okay. We'll talk about the starting 11. So, obviously positive having Cornelis and Migoma back, yeah?
Yep, mate. Again, we didn't get the chance to actually find out anything about the team last night because of that press conference, but it just shows you that it's probably been a kind of wee blessing in disguise. Boys are fit and ready, and to be honest, Ox, I'm kind of glad to see them, mate. They've actually settled pretty quickly, considering the turmoil on the team now.
Mm-hmm. So that's a positive. Well, a positive before we start. And then we've got, I would say the other big talking point in the team is, well, there's a couple for me. Asgard keeping his place. I don't think what he's doing is enough, personally. And Chermiti starting up front, so he's got the nod for Europe, mate.
Aye, he's I mean, there would be it's the kind of the hard on the rock place thing, Ox, isn't it? It's like you've spent 8 million on the boy, and if he wasn't playing them, folk be like, "Oh, you're not playing him, and you spent all that money." So it's kind of that way. He's got to give the boy the chance to settle, I suppose. But Miovski's the experienced striker, isn't it? He's under pressure, so why would you not start your experienced striker, get the goals, and then bring the boy on? But to be honest, I'm no fussed either way, Ox. I think if we're spending 8 million, then it's up to this boy to show his class, and he's got to. I say he's got to do his job, Ox, which is score goals, and hopefully the team actually provides stuff for him tonight.
Had a good chance last week. Last week against Hibs, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Played through, yeah. Had to go his leg with it. Happens, mate. Happens. Obviously, he maybe should have scored. He was favourite to score and hit the goal his legs with. So we've not seen him get enough service. I don't. My initial thoughts on, mate, that for a big lump, I don't think he's a physical type. Yeah, that's my initial thoughts. But I'm conserving judgment, mate. Yeah, but my initial thoughts are that he's not a physical type.
No, and to be fair, Ox, and maybe again, this is because I've not seen a lot of him. I've not seen like this blustering, busty pace or anything like that. And I don't know if that's just because of the way the team's been playing. Like you see Gassama, you can see how fast he runs, you can see how fast Ant-Man runs, but you've not really seen that yet off of him as well. And for a striker nowadays, you've got to be kind of pacey, Ox. You've got to get in the box quick, you know what I mean? So I've not overly seen that either. But again, one thing I've seen though is he keeps dropping deep. I mean, he ends up becoming like what Asgard's position, kind of sitting at a 10 a lot of the time. Whereas I don't know about you, Ox, man, but see a striker, I just want him to be old school. I just want to be in the box scoring goals, mate. Like Big McCoist. But again, I think the manager said this, he needs to ruffle them up. Whoever the striker starts, then they've got a job to do for at least 60 minutes anyway. And then if Big Miovski comes on, then it's over to him to try and get the goals for us. Maybe with the Livingston game as well at the weekend, the manager's kind of seen Miovski's misses and how he wasn't clinical at the weekend. So maybe that's why the boys as well is getting a nod tonight, Ox.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yep, give us a phone and that says pre-match, so it'd be good to hear what all these bears are thinking about the game tonight. And just to keep you up to date, the team for tonight is Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Cornelius, Magoma, Raskin, Barn, Asgard, Ant-Man, Gassama, and Chimiti.
All right, listen, we'll get the phone lines open, yes?
Ox, like I say, it's be good to hear from them and see what the fans have got to say about the night, mate.
Thanks for that, mate. I had to take that phone call, mate. It was important. Listen, let's hear from you.
I'll give the number 0141 356 1972 Ox. Phone in and that, and you'll hear us.
Oh, it's got Gremlins. Right, so Fox has just played it. Oh, sorry, I missed it because I took a call. Sorry about that. So come and join us. These are thoughts, as GB says. Interesting team. The rest of it, I said on forum, I've not got Asgard in it. That's just the way I see it, GB. I don't know how you see it, mate. Yeah?
Ox, he's probably kind of that way running out of time. And the manager's definitely giving him plenty plenty of minutes to show his worth, mate. So the night's another chance for him. He's clearly got to get minutes. So, I mean, he's proven in an international stage, Ox, that he can score goals. So this game tonight, a European game, should be perfect for him to show his quality, mate.
Aye, well, we'll see, mate. He'll get more time and space tonight, and we'd maybe get in our league. We've been joined by Josh. Our Josh. Everton Josh. Evening, Josh.
Good evening, lads. How are we?
All right, mate. Your good self.
Yeah, sound. Didn't see much football at the weekend. I haven't been too well, but what I have seen is the result, obviously, from the Rangers game. I just think it's a sign of, of a team that's kind of on the rebuild somewhat, that they're pulling out a last-minute winner in that game. They've gone till the end of the game, so that's kind of one thing that I've picked out as a positive for you. We spoke negatively quite a lot, quite rightly so, over the past few weeks about Russell and the philosophy, this, that, the other, the arrogance that he perhaps approached the job with. But results like that just say to me that there is something under the surface where the lads are going to the end of games, and that's something that you kind of want to see. I was talking to Big Sam Allardyce the other day about football and about how it's changed to all this like tapping out the back style of football, and how managers are being brainwashed and hoodwinked to think like Pep Guardiola in a lot of ways, of like that's how you've got to play football at any level. Sam's argument is that you've got to play with the players that you've got and the resources that you've got. So he talked about his time at Everton, where he went in there with no centre forward and he had to change his way of playing until January when he could go and get one. Russell at the minute's got players that aren't suited to this style that he seems to insist on. He's got to try and adapt it. He's got to try and change it. Like, he gets paid to make these big decisions. But yeah, I was more than impressed with the result for you at the weekend, and some elements of last week's European display as well. Some elements, like they were creating chances. A bit unlucky when they went down to 10 men by that ridiculous decision from Diamondi. So there are little things to build on. But yeah, as far as I see it with Russell, he's still on a hide into nothing, but there are things that you can start changing, isn't there, in the short term?
You're right. I mean, you can't answer that if Diamondi had stayed on the park, but you'd like to think if Diamondi would have stayed on, would have put on a better show and maybe stole the game. It's if buts and maybes, GB, and then all of a sudden you beat Hibs, you beat Ghent, you beat Livingston, and you're going for 4 wins in a row, which is different. In reality, we're only going for 2. And I get it. I think Diamondi deserves all the criticism he deserves, GB, because I thought it was a crazy decision to make that lunge at the time of the game, where it was in the park and how much danger was on. So we paid a heavy price for that. Maybe, because you could have kept 11 players on the park and lost 2-0. You'll never be able to answer it, GB.
No, but I do agree with you, Ox, that I think the two teams weren't amazing, even like for the first 40 odd minutes. So it could have been one of the boring games. It could have seen itself out, or like you said, it could have been one of these ones where it was like a goal of difference that got you the winner. But see, to be honest, as soon as the red card happened, you kind of write the game off, really, Ox, in a sense. Like, not so much for the players, so you still expect them to go out and perform and try and see out a result of some sort. But for me as a fan, you really know the backs up against it, so you can't really overly judge Russell Martin on that one. Where I'm kind of judging him more on is that, and I'm trying not to be too critical, like the Livingston game, it was a win. It was great to see them keep digging in and eventually get the winner at the end of the game and stuff like that. But for me, it is still Livingston. And if we are struggling against a Livingston, and as I've said before, we struggled against Alava and all that, carry on, then as Josh rightly says, Russell Martin is only going to cut his nose off to spite his face, because it's the tactics, and he's even admitted himself that he's had to adjust it for the players to help settle them a bit more. But if he continues to be stubborn, then again, the pressure each week will just keep mounting, and it'll be everybody's just kind of waiting for that one result again to flare it up. Yeah,
so we'll focus on the night, Josh. We'll get pretty much there's one change there's 2 changes for last week's team. Moore's come out, and I think rightly so, and obviously Barron's in for Diamondi. So Ant-Man's in for Moore and Barron's in for Diamondi. So look, Barron I thought was one of our better players in the first half at the weekend, and he had a good game against that mob. He just needs a level of consistency. and to bring a bit of attacking and to his game. I'm not saying he's going to score 20 goals a season, and he was unlucky against that mob last week again, because he had a good effort that was getting in, and the guy managed to head it clear. So you need a bit of luck sometimes, Josh, but we're looking for a level of performance because we're not getting it and we're not close to it. And GB's right, that's where the pressure comes from.
You can't keep harping on about luck. At the end of the day, you have to sort of make your own luck with the decisions that you're making in games, the way that you start in games, and the amount of chances that you're giving up in games. And as far as tonight goes, a tough assignment away from home in Europe, as it always is. I want to see it being kept that bit tighter. I want to see some of these things being sacrificed a little bit more. Like, instead of getting on the front foot all the time and trying to pass it out and create chances and dominate the other team to death, stay in the arm wrestle to make it difficult for the opposition. If Rangers come away with a scoreless draw tonight, or a 1-1 draw or something like that, that's some kind of foundation to build on in the European scene, isn't it? But what every Rangers fan doesn't want to see is another 3-0 hiding for the sake of attacking and having no focus on being organised and disciplined and difficult to beat, and all the things that are hallmarks of good teams without us realising that they are. Like, you look at Liverpool down south, we're talking about last-minute winners. They had about 5 of them on the bounce, and there's no coincidence with that, because that's a sign of a good side. They're not playing particularly well, but they're finding ways of winning, and I think that's what Rangers have done against Livingston, and obviously Hibs, they had a good performance as well. So it's just continuing that momentum within that. The centre forward's going to be pivotal as well, isn't it? Because if you can start getting goals out of Shemiti and out of Miofsky that have come in for that reason to up that goals ratio and give you that focal point of attack, that's where you can start to build, isn't it?
Listen, big Duncan Messi when they scored goals for us at the moment, mate, because we're not making any chances. So the centre forwards are living on straps. Miofsky missed one at the weekend. Some people think he should have scored. For me, first and foremost, you've got to hit the target to score. So that's your job. Make sure you hit the target and see what happens. Dimitri, we've not seen a lot of him. Obviously, he played last week. Started, and then we went down to 10 men, and he didn't get a lot of service. So our forwards have been living on scraps. I don't know if you would agree, GB.
Aye, I would, Doc. Like says, they've not been getting any service, and like I said at the start of the show, that Chimiti's been dropping deep. He's been dropping into midfield all the time to try and get the ball and trying to get the players up the park. Whereas I heard Big Southside last night make a great point. It's all right maybe sticking to your tactics, but see every now and then a wee boy at the top when they do any hairmocks just to get a Miofsky in or to get a Chimiti in with some pace and a bit of physicality against a defender. I mean, it's all right to change it up every now and then. You don't have to be so rigid. And again, it's just another thing that annoys me about the manager. Like, he should be exploring all options. I mean, these players are just no robots. I mean, they've made it to this kind of level for some reason. I mean, so it's just that I think what I say is just playing at your strengths. And as Josh has touched on that, you've just got to play with what's there and try and get the best out of them.
Yes, and I was looking for you in the pub on Tuesday night, Josh. I was in the Captain Alexander in Liverpool. All Everton supporters.
Oh, was you know? You get about a bit, don't you? You do get about a bit.
I certainly do, mate. Got to keep moving for security reasons, mate.
The cheek of that. But yeah, the third point that I've got written down here, which again touching on this idea of the youth development side of things. I mean, I've touched on that. It's a broader point probably for another night, but I saw her on Sunday with that Meg Croft again in the women's team. I know it's different to the men's game, and I know that I'm using the example because it's Rangers, but she's 16 and she had a player of the match role in that game. She was trusted by Leanne to start and finish that match. It was a pressurised game against one of the top teams. Now, why can't that be happening within the realms of Scottish football? Like, you're seeing very few examples across the Scottish game of young players, young talent being given the opportunity. And what that allows you to do when you've got the young players is you don't have to go scrambling in transfer markets, players that aren't suited to the Scottish game yet, and they need time to settle, time to develop. You might have players within the academy that know the Rangers way already, and they play with that fearlessness. You saw the 16-year-old for Liverpool, the 15-year-old for Arsenal. I can go on and on about it, but that's the fulcrum of the point: is get them through and get them playing.
Yeah, well, we've the young boy Curtis, who looks as if he's more prepared than Mikey Moore is, and obviously Mikey Moore's had some game time, come up with a big reputation, and we've not seen it yet. But I'll tell you what we'll do, if it's all right with you two gentlemen, we'll hear from the manager, and then we'll chat about it. Let's hear from our manager.
Russell, it's the second match day of the UEFA Europa League. How excited are you for the challenge tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. I think we're growing all the time, and tonight's another opportunity to show that.
Have you seen another lift from the players after the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed the feel of the group. I said this to you for the last couple of weeks. It feels very different since the transfer window closed. And we've had a couple of good performances, so we now need to really build on that and win the game tonight.
What kind of challenge do you expect tonight, and where does it maybe sit in with what the squad have faced already?
It's very different to what we faced on Sunday. So a team that had a brilliant season last season. They're very set way of doing things. Very vertical, a lot of players crowd the middle of the pitch, so we have to do our best to try and nullify that, but also turn the game into the one that we want to, which is always the aim for us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, a number of players in this squad as well obviously have huge experience of coming away in Europe, getting good results in Europe. How important can that be?
Yeah, I think it's really important. We have a generally young group, and you can see that with the bench we've got as well. So I think nights like this help them, and they're going to need the experienced guys that have been there, especially last season, that had a really good time in this competition, to help them. And I feel we're getting more and more in that place where the guys have more understanding, they want to help each other more. So yeah, tonight will be that.
Yeah, just one change from Sunday. Yusuf Trimiti comes in. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, I think Boyan played really well, but Yusuf also played very well last Thursday. But we got two really good strikers, and also another one in Danilo as well, who's been unfortunate not to get on the pitch recently. So it's about freshness, about energy, and it's about different people suiting different games. And I think tonight Yusuf will help us.
Yeah, and how big is this opportunity to sort of build that momentum and continue that again?
I think that's what I said to the guys. Every game now is an opportunity for us to, win, of course, but to grow, to build, improve on what we're doing. And if we improve them from what we did on Sunday, we did some really good stuff. Then it gives us a really good chance to win the game tonight.
Thanks, Russell. Good luck.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. I think some of the support will be concerned because we've heard, positivity, trained well, the group's good, and then it's went flat. The proof of the pudding's in the eating. GB and Josh.
Aye, the big one, isn't it? I've noticed a change in the group, and that the training's been brilliant this week. Well, let's see it tonight. I mean, we've got to go out there and put a performance in, and just see how it goes. To be honest, it's a kind of marker game as well. That the Sturm Graz play Celtic in about 4 weeks' time, so it's about us to go out and show the class. If we blow them away tonight, and then just for straight talking sakes, they come to their ground and they get a result against Celtic, then it creates negativity across the City Hawks. They're seeing that we can do better and all that carry on. So it's there's a lot that can be gained for the night, Hawks. There can be money gained for the night. There can be confidence, and like I say, there's a wee bit of bragging rights as well, mate.
Yes. Yeah. On you go, Josh.
Sorry to cut you off there, but he talks about the atmosphere. He talks about the atmosphere being different. Well, of course, it's different. You're off the back of 2 domestic victories. However they have come about, we've talked about the mechanics of the results and how the result at the weekend was a little bit different for this Rangers side. They went to the end of the game and managed to come out on the right side of it. So definitely the atmosphere will be a bit more positive by virtue of that. And also there was some elements of last week, like when I think back to what I said to you about it, I was maybe a little bit too harsh with that one. I thought, there were times in the game where you were creating opportunities. You did have the upper hand in the game, and then we touched on the red card. Would it or wouldn't it have changed the result? We don't know that. But I thought up until that point, you were kind of making a game of it. So, those factors considered, of course, it's going to be different in training and in terms of the enthusiasm of the players and somewhat with the supporters as well, because that's what football's about. We're living in a results metric, aren't we? If the results start coming, confidence starts breeding, as the previous caller says, and then you're kind of creating this more optimism around the place. Whereas what we've seen for the majority is the lack of consistency that I also harp on about. 1 week you see a good Rangers display. The next week you might see an indifferent one, and it's just about trying to get 3 or 4 results together, try and climb the Premiership table a little bit domestically and get a bit closer to Celtic, who also dropped points at the weekend. So that's kind of good for you lot, that you've closed the gap by 2 points. You're not necessarily playing too well. And then trying to transfer it into big nights like tonight. Every Rangers fan wants to see the performance first and foremost, but if you can get both a performance and some kind of result to take into the weekend, and then ultimately the international break to try and regroup and add new things to that, it could end up being a positive fortnight for Rangers, depending how the next couple of results go. Whether fans want to admit it or not, it is kind of going somewhat in a forwards trajectory over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, obviously, if you get a result in the night, doesn't matter the performance. Get a result on Sunday, GB, and all of a sudden you've won 4 out of 5. 2 away games in the league, beat Hibs, who came getting top. We beat them quite comfortably. And 3 games in a row in a plastic pitch, if you cannot come away with victories. And this pitch isn't getting good reviews, GB.
No, we have had our kind of time with pitches recently and stuff like that. But again, Ox, like, I do expect us to go out and match this team tonight. I know it's an away game and stuff, but I don't want them thinking, oh, well, it means nothing. It's important that they all put in a performance tonight, because, one, I've heard that the team are backing the manager and stuff like that, so they've got to show that they're all in on this tonight. And like you say, you've got travelling fans as well that have went out to hopefully see something the night, whether it's a draw or, like I say, a win. Again, it's just about building the confidence. I think what will be with Russell Martin, Ox, to be honest. I don't even think the 2 wins, like a win the night and a win at the weekend, is going to sway the fans any differently in how they're feeling about it. What will maybe sway them is consistent results, consistent wins, and maybe, what I say, is a trophy at some point, whether it's that League Cup or whatever. But getting back to the night, what is important, we go out, show a performance, and show that, like Josh says that we are kind of growing. There is something there to kind of have hope for.
Hi, Josh.
Yeah, he also talks about this like rotation with the centre forwards and rotation with certain areas of the team. Well, that's paramount, because I've heard managers tell me in the past about this idea of playing Thursday and Sunday just has a little bit of a different feel to it than playing Wednesday or Tuesday and Saturday. So, like, when you're in this Europa League, as Rangers fans will know, it's a test of your squad depth more than anything. And I think the fact that Rangers don't have much depth in quite a lot of areas, but they do in the centre forward position, so you can swap and change that around. Like, you're not gaining or losing too much by putting Shemiti or Miofsky up there. So that's what Russell's alluding to there about keeping the lads fresh on all fronts, because it's a long hard season, isn't it? And games like this, you've mentioned about the pitches, they expend a lot of energy as well. Going away from home in Europe, it's a travel time, it's getting back late and then playing on the Sunday. So there isn't much time between the fixtures. And I think Russell's spot on there with what he's saying about, trying to keep players happy and hungry and creating this dynamic within the squad that every shirt's sort of up for grabs in some respect. But a lot of it's dictated by performances, obviously, isn't it? So if you're getting an opportunity to come into the team, you've got to make yourself undroppable by the way you're playing. So that's maybe the heads up that he's given to Shemiti there, young Shemiti. He's trusting him in the European games and saying, like, you're going to be the man. If you keep this performance level up, there's no way we can take you out of the team. If you can start adding goals to what we're doing and start getting more service into him, using his strengths, he's a good hold-up player. I've seen him in some quantities at Everton, and I kind of liked him, the rawness of the talent, and there's areas that Rangers can improve him on, and that's one of them, the hold-up and the link play and the runs in behind and the finishing ability that all comes with being a top striker at this level. So yeah, that's what I've took away from Russell there, about just keeping everybody on the toes and creating this energy throughout the squad starting tonight with that.
I mean, if I take this season, mate, in my opinion, we've had 3 players with pass marks at different levels. That would be Tavernier, because his goals in Scotland and Gassama. 5 maybe early season, you maybe get Raskin and McHome, and I'll give Cornelius that because he's not done a lot wrong. So they're on 5. Everybody else is less than 5, mate. It's frighteningly. So anybody can do their team. So people have to start hitting a level of consistency. Young Barron, maybe as well, he had a lot of football, a decent game against that mob, and he's done okay. But, nobody's really setting the head on fire, if we're honest, GB.
No, that Asgard position, Ox, like between Rothwell and Asgard, that's not been really set alight yet either. So it's up to somebody to kind of grab that position, Ox, and really put on a bit of performance for us. And it's the same way Lex is up front as well. We've not really had somebody yet that's started to rip the net apart. So I'm hopeful in a sense tonight that we do get to see something tonight, mate.
I hope so. Anyway, talking about somebody we're always pleased to see. We'll be joined by Kilmarnock. Evening, Kilmarnock.
Good evening, lads. Looking forward to the ball game, I think. Heart saying don't drop points, sneak in a away win, but the Heat's saying the defence is wide open. We can't set up goals. So, but we need to hope that we turn it around, don't we? We can't just go into any game thinking it's a loss. You know what I mean?
We
live in hope.
What you're saying is it's not a good combination, mate. We're giving away a lot of chances and we're not creating a lot of chances. If we were giving away a lot of chances and creating double that, you see, this is great. Ain't that at all?
No, anything but it's just there's nothing seems to be working for what he's trying to do. It just doesn't seem to be working. I don't think it's a bad squad, although the body evidence isn't really there yet, is it? Albeit it's this 19th game maybe. I still think it's.
And maybe with the 2 friendlies, maybe
including the friendlies.
Maybe close to that. But still, the squad still looks thin, doesn't it?
It does, aye. I just don't know. Know what I mean? As I say, in my heart, I'm hoping for a win, but the evidence that we're seeing in front of our eyes doesn't give any Rangers fan any confidence. Let's be honest. It's worrying times, isn't it?
No. This would be a difficult tie with a decent team, mate. It's no. It's no. You know what I mean? This is the Austrian champions. Yeah, their form might be great, but it would still be a difficult tie at the best of times, mate. And we're not playing well as we know. So it is a difficult tie. The trouble is that because we've done so well and we've had fantastic results in Europe, base seasons for the last few years, you go back to last year, Fenerbahce, the year before that, the away draw in Benfica, we go to Fenerbahce and draw with Benfica. The year before that, not long before that, you're beating Dortmund, away in Dortmund, with fantastic results away from home. This team, even this season, if you're honest, away drawing Panathinaikos, but we didn't. As you say, Dominic, your eyes don't lie. Even that night, we could have been 3 down.
Yeah, there's just the fans haven't got any belief in this team. In the last 2-3 seasons, we might have been playing poor in the league, but we're always going, you know what, we're a different animal in Europe. We can go anywhere and get a result, and that's what we were doing. But the makeup of this team, the structure of it, and the how we've been playing, it's not showing us anything, is it? That we can go, right, that's a league. This is a different ball game. But again, hopefully, they do turn it around the night. But live and hope.
I hope you're right, GB.
Aye, good points, mate. We all do live and hope, and you're right. See the European nights, mate. That was probably a big part of what Celtic to these new owners. I mean, they were turning up in the games and seen that Man United game and stuff like that. And I mean, that is the previous run to the final as well. All that combined helped us get new owners, really, to be honest, mate. So I think they'll be expecting something out of this as well. They're not going to be accepting, like I says, defeat after defeat after defeat. And Ox mentioned it last night. I mean, we lost tonight, that's 5 in a row for defeats-wise in Europe. So it's important, like I says, we put in some sort of performance and get some sort of result tonight, mate. Just for all avenues. For one, for the sake of the manager, one, for the team to get confidence. And then, like he says, the fans, the owners and all that. And then, like he says, you go into the weekend, you're back into the league where you need to keep the fit to the flare to try and keep chasing this league points deduction back. So it's massive, and I've touched on it as well. It's kind of bragging rights involved tonight as well. If we get a result, then it can put pressure on them to get across the city to make sure they get a result against this mob as well. So for such a nothing game, there's actually quite a lot riding on it.
Well, it's a big game, mate, because look, if you've always got your ambition, yeah, I think we agree with that, and you don't want to get dead rubbers. If you can help it, this format means you can maybe not have the best group stage, but at the back end you still have a chance of getting somewhere in it because you've got quite a lot of teams qualify. So you want to stay as competitive and dream. There's nothing wrong with dreaming, though, man. Okay.
Aye, but Genk, they were a poorer form as us. But any other season, that's a guaranteed 3 points for us.
I agree.
In the hundreds of thousands in the prize money. And as I say, I'm not convinced for the 49ers. It's a discussion for another day. But as I say, the bot Leeds, what Leeds ever going to do? Exist in the Premiership? That's their level. Just to exist. They're never going to win anything. So what is the ambition of the 49ers? You know what I mean? Or have they just looked at us and went, it's a two horse race here. Get something behind the Rangers and we'll get them winning. But I think they've overestimated the task at hand. But I suppose it's about the night, and it's just hopefully they turn up the night.
Yes. Well, listen, just go. No individual errors, Josh. No crazy sending offs, because let's be honest, we've lost goals in Europe now. I still think we weren't the favourites in Bruges at all away from home. No crazy sending offs. Aaron's crazy sending off. Diomandis crazy sending off. You know, if you do get sent off, you should be unlucky or something you've had today. But you know, they were mental, so you have to keep 11 players in the park to help yourself foremost, and then cut out the individual errors. You know, last week we had the ball even against 10 men. Ant-Man had him stuck in the corner, let him get it out. 2 passes, and it's in my net, and Suter and Tavernier. The positioning was just crazy. Individual errors. For me, bad coaching being so tight when you've not got any real pace at the back in the middle, because Cornelius and Suter on the quick. And we just have to play smarter football and play with the tools you've got, Josh.
100% spot on. And then just going back to the conversation that I had with Big Sam about modern day football, he used like a traffic light thing to describe it to me. So he said, like, your own box is like the red area, so minimal risk. You don't really want to be playing too much in that area if you can help it. You know, try and get it out of there as quick as possible. Be fundamentally difficult to beat, you know, to start off with, and that's what you're alluding to. Back to basics, you know, simplify it for the lads. And you move forward into the midfield, which is your amber area. You can take a few more risks because you're further away from your goal. And then, like, moving forward to the last third, that's when you want to see most of the risk being taken, and you get the likes of Gassama on the ball to create opportunities and have the centre forward running off that, and you know, be exciting in that area, but try and tighten it up towards the areas where they're making the mistakes and giving the chances away. I've never seen so much space being given by a Rangers team to an opposition, and this is week in, week out. This is Glasgow Rangers. It's totally unacceptable. It's really unacceptable, the amount of chances they're giving away. You've got to start with that premise. You know, start with the red area. You know, give them that traffic light that Sam gave to me. It's such a simple way of describing a difficult game, isn't it? You know, we bang on about analysis and describing this and describing that, but sometimes the easiest way of describing it is through a simple metric like that he gave to me, and it makes sense, doesn't it? It really does.
I mean, if you gave me a traffic light with some of these players, I know what I would do with it, but that's another story. You've just got to keep it simple. Right, but you've got to keep it simple, and it's a setup. Even with 11 against 11 last week, we were that narrow in defence, we were getting the wings away, and then with the way we set up on midfield, at times, we're back to this, you've got the back four, and they're narrow, and then midfield in front of them, they're playing in a straight line up to the forwards. So basically, you're getting the whole width of the park away. And we've seen it since the first game of the season, the friendly against Bruges. So teams get to run 30 yards, put crosses into your box, or play passes to hurt you. And it's a tactic. And I just think it's crazy football. And we don't claim to be experts, but as the monarch says, your eyes don't lie. So we can't give that space away. Because decent teams, not great teams, Ghent weren't Real Madrid, Bruges aren't going to win the Champions League. They might cause a few shocks because they're not a bad side, but they're not going to win it. But you're just going to get punished with decent teams when you do that. And we've seen that with 11 against 11 last week.
It's just organisation, isn't it? If you're disorganised and other team are organised, they'll just play it through you. And that's what teams are. Even Alloa were doing it to us. It's just organised chaos, and it's back to the training run. It's what they're doing day in, day out in the training run, and if they're implementing what he's saying, then what he's saying is wrong, because we cannot see that it's wide open. Last week the defensive high line, and then that ball just gets put through it. I can understand why that striker was celebrating so much till after the game, and I realised it was ex-Celtic guy. I was saying to myself, why is he going right over the top here at the fans? I couldn't work it out. Then obviously it wasn't until after the game.
If I was a referee, I'd give him 2 yellows, mate.
2 yellows in a taxi at the airport.
I'd give him 2 yellows. Be interested in, but I just started to think that last week that they had run out a wee bit of ideas, and the 10 against 11, I said we've done reasonable okay. Then we gave away a crazy goal, and it starts with Ant-Man. Ant-Man has got the boys trapped and lets them walk out without any effort, in my opinion. You've got to do better than that, especially when you're down to 10 men. Make sure that the boss stays down there. Make sure your team regroup, and then you're difficult to beat or try and force them into a state. You let the boys throw at me with very little effort, in my opinion. So that is things we've also got to work at. You don't have to be a physical player to work hard defensively, GB.
No, you don't, Oxen. It was the same against Livingston as well. That second half, it's crazy that's in this team. They've got this kind of off button for some reason that they become. It's not even lazy. It's just like it's as if they're like fed up. They kind of work chasing the ball back or anything like that. Whereas the way Russell Martin's described that he wanted the team was that they'd be chasing, doing everything, they'd be working harder, running harder, and all the rest of it. And sometimes you see the team, you're like if they've been getting that instruction, why are they getting up that? Why are they not doing that for the full 90? So they've got it in them, Oxen. It's again, it's I don't know if it's the manager or if it's just the squad that sometimes just need a bit of rollicking.
All right, last word for yourself, Josh.
So yeah, as far as tonight goes, I've summed it up. Basically, it's about being more difficult to beat, being more competitive in the game in terms of not giving up these ridiculous chances that we're seeing week in, week out. Keeping it nice and tight, a tough away game with a tough pitch and a tough crowd, tough atmosphere. We know what these European nights are about, but the lads are accustomed to that. Some of these Rangers lads have been part of these squads that have got good results in Europe over the past couple of seasons. So, we need to see that as a hallmark. It's a little bit more difficult to beat. And then moving forward, I'd argue, this is probably one for another show, but you could even change the shape now. You could go Shemiti Amriovsky up front and maybe go to a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, just for a little bit more dynamism and a bit more ball retention further forward. To have two centre forwards up there might see you create more opportunities for either or. because just at the moment you've got that guy that's isolated, whether it be Shmiti or Miovski, but to get them both up there, they could prove quite a handful, but it's about how you adjust to that and the lack of flexibility that would come from 4-4-2. But that's a topic for another day. But tonight it's all about performance, and if you get the result on top of that to take into the weekend, good momentum into the international break, I think any Rangers fan would bite your hand off for that at this moment in time.
Listen, I think you're right. It would be good for the two of them up there, because we get the ball up that little, we give them somebody to talk to, you know. But we have to get the ball forward there. So, Marnock.
Well, hopefully, I know you win tonight, or even a draw. I take that. And just lastly, to say, can I congratulate Farewell's Doug, got appointed chief ball sniffer up at the training ground tonight, so that's positive.
I'm here at
It's a family affair.
That later, guys.
Mrs. Stilwell's the head of catering now.
Thanks for having me, lad.
GB.
I thought you were going to say something else there, but anyway, that's another.
No, I was keeping the mother's line.
Aye, great. Cheers to the lads for phoning in there for the first part of the show. It's always good to hear from them. Big thanks to yourself, Ox, for coming on in as well the night, and big thanks to the boys in the background. So we'll see you after the game for hopefully an easy, okay result, mate.
I hope you're right, mate. Just get a result, hope for a performance. Come on, the Rangers. I think there's more in this team than we've offered so far this season. Come on, do it for all years. Take it away. Old school blue.
As we go marching down the Paisley Road, the west, the doors and the windows open wide. You will hear the people cheer, the Glasgow Rangers boys are here. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. Blue is the colour, football is the game. We're all together, Glasgow Rangers is our name. For we are the best team in all Scotland, and Glasgow Rangers is our name. So bring on the Celtic, your Hibs and Aberdeen, your Dundee United, we're the best you've ever seen. We play hand on heart, God save the Queen. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. As we go marching down the Paisley Road west, the doors and the windows open wide. You will hear the people cheer, the Glasgow Rangers boys are here. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. Blue is the colour, football is the game. We're all together, Glasgow Rangers is our name. For we are the best team in all Scotland, and Glasgow Rangers is our name. So bring on the Celtic, your Hibs and Aberdeen, your Dundee United, we're the best you've ever seen. We play hand on heart, God save the Queen. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. It's Glasgow Rangers for me. It's Glasgow Rangers for me.